In today's video, I'm going to do something a little bit differently compared to my other ones. I'm going to see if I can beat the game without using attacks. I know what you guys are thinking. How do you win battles without attacking? There are ways of winning a battle other than attacking. For instance, weather conditions like sandstorm or hail. Another way is using statuses like confuse, poison, or burn. And the most time-consuming way is to force the enemy to run out of PP and use struggle until they faint. Of course, with a few added rules to make this more interesting. First up, no terastalizing. Battle is on set mode. Items and potions are allowed. So let's start. We first choose a starter. I chose the grass starter, Sprigatito, and then was challenged by Nemona. Looking at the movesets I have right now, there's nothing I can use to confuse, poison, or burn the enemy. So for now, we just spam Tail Whip. Luckily, in this game, we can actually force ourselves to lose. And after losing, we then face Arven with the same result. I then caught myself a Wooper as it knows the ability Poison Point, so this can be useful. I then caught myself an Igglybuff as I can use its Sing for stalling. I then caught a Pichu and a Pom-Pom Oricorio. After that was our rematch with Nemona. Her Quaxil triggered the Poison Point, and now we stall it until they faint. And next was her Palmy. As I was spamming Tail Whip and she was spamming Thundershock, I then looked up her moveset, and apparently, she only knows Thundershock, which my Wooper is immune to. So this made myself locked in an endless battle. So I restarted the game, where this time, I sacrificed my Wooper against her Quaxil. And then purposely lose against her, which was still okay. But now, a problem comes. We have to help Penny and battle Team Star. And this is the battle that we cannot lose on purpose. So I explored the map and used the exploit to reach myself to other places. And then caught myself a Fletchinder. I then faced Team Star, where my Fletchinder has Flame Bite. And now we slowly stall it. After a while, I took down the first one and repeat the same for the second one. Until it fainted as well.
This is fine.
Before actually proceeding with the challenge, I caught myself a Hippowdon in the Asado Desert, as well as a Tinkating. I then caught a Drifloon and then head to the cave just outside Alfornada City. Once again, using the exploit, I then caught myself a Toxicity and my Igglybuff evolved into Jigglypuff. I then caught a Glimmet. Now we can proceed with the actual game. We first head to the first gym. I then took on the gym test. When I battled the first trainer, I was so optimistic to think that my Pokemon will listen to me. After a while, I was able to use its Toxic and poison the enemy. Hippowdon then used Sandstorm to help speeden the damage. Of course, it won't listen to me, so it fell asleep. But that's okay. I mean, that cricket can't even do anything to my Hippowdon.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
After being poisoned to death, we then faced the other trainer. But this time, we encountered a problem, as Venonat is a poison type, so he can't be poisoned. So I used Hippowdon and Sandstorm until he fainted. After clearing the path, I then passed the test and proceed to face Katie, the bug type gym. I first used Glimmet. My plan was simple, let Katie attack, and then Glimmet will trigger its Toxic Debris twice. And then when she switches to her next Pokemon, they would be instantly poisoned. I would then follow it up with Stealth Rock for more damage. After I Flame Body her first Pokemon, I wanted to use Sandstorm, but apparently it was raining, so it kept failing. So I watched as it slowly get cooked. And now, the fun part, where I watch as they trigger the Poison Spike and get damaged by the Stealth Rock. After that was just to watch as they all slowly die from the poison. Next, I went to face my first Titan. I was able to poison the Stone Titan and then let it slowly poison to death. Round 2 was easier thanks to the help of Arven. Next was the second gym, Brassius, the grass type. I applied Toxic to his Petilil and then Stealth Rock and Sandstorm by Glimmet. After that, his Smolib helped me trigger Toxic Debris, which I then used Toxic and Sandstream for my Hippowdon. Lastly was his Sudowoodo. Since he is a rock type, that means Sandstorm has no effect on him. But due to the AI changing it to a Grass Terra type, it can now be affected
Congratulations,
by
you
Sandstorm.
played yourself.
And now we race to see who gets defeated first. I then went to the next Titan, the Sky Titan. Once again, I applied Toxic and Sandstorm. From round 2, my boy Arven was able to help, took care of it. I then rushed to Medali City to get myself a leftover, which would be useful to me. So I gave it to my Hippowdon, and then was challenged by Nemona again. But this time, I was ready. The usual strat was use Glimet's Toxic Debris and Stealth Rock. I then used Toxic on her Rock Ruff and watch it slowly die, and then let her trigger both traps to both her Pokemon until she was defeated.
Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga! Fight back!
I then faced Kofu, the Water-type gym. My Limit was able to set up the Stealth Rock, Sandstorm, and Toxic Debris. I then Toxic his Veluza and stall until he fainted. That goes the same for his Bug Trio and his Crabominable. I then rushed to Zapapico City to get a Rocky Helmet and then went to the next gym, which is Iono. After finding the director, I then battled one of her fans, and after that, my Tinkatink evolved. Now it's time to battle Iono, the electric-type gym. The usual routine, Limit with the Stealth Rock and Toxic Debris. I then switch to Toxic her Wattrel and Sandstream with Hippowdon, and then just stall the rest of her team until her Miss Magius. Since she has the ability Levitate, it cannot be affected by Toxic Spikes. So I have to manually apply Toxic to her, and then stall her out with Hippowdon. Next up is Larry, the normal-type gym. Glimet was able to set up the usual stuff, but the problem was his first Pokemon. It knows Comatose, which means he can't be poisoned, so I have to Sandstream him, and thanks to the Rocky Helmet for helping me reflect physical damage, I was able to defeat it.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
After that was his Dadanspars, which was easy thanks to the setup by Glimet. Lastly was his Staraptor, killing himself from my Rocky Helmet.
Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
After that, a Glimet evolved into Glimora. I was then challenged by Nemona, just outside the gym. I did the usual setup and used Toxic on her Lycanroc, and then pretty much just stalled her out until all her Pokemon died from the poison. I then went to face my first Team Star, Yakumo, the Dark type. I was able to Will-O-Wisp his Paniwar and stalled it out. But the real problem lies with the Star Mobile. Apparently, it does not get affected by any status conditions. So my Confuse and Burn and Poison was nothing. So I thought of PP stalling until it runs out of PP and dies from struggle. But yeah, they have unlimited PP.
What? What the f?
So my only way is to use Sandstorm to deplete its HP. Before proceeding further with the video, if you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Now, back to the video.
20 minutes later.
After 20 minutes and lowering its accuracy completely, it then died due to Sandstorm. Next was Mela, the Team Star Fire type. I used Toxic on her Torkoal and stalled it out, and I did the same thing using Hippowdon on her Star Mobile.
Oh shit, here we go again.
I then went to face the Iron Titan. Since it's a Steel type, this means it can be poisoned, so I had to burn it instead. After stalling, I was then able to defeat it, and with the help of Arben, we managed to defeat it. I then caught myself a Blissey, as this thing is a tank when it comes to special defense. After a while, my Drift Balloon evolved to Drift Blim. I then went to face the Ground Titan. I used Toxic on it, and then Hippowdon stalled it, and together with Arwen, we managed to defeat it. I then proceed to the next gym, where I encountered a problem. This old man has a Grumpig who knows the rest and snort, so I can't use Toxic on it, because he just heals them back while attacking me in his sleep. Before proceeding further with the video, if you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Now, back to the video. After stalling for 30 minutes, it eventually ran out of PP. I then used Toxic and stalled it, and that was just 1 out of 3 of his Pokemon. Luckily, the remaining 2 was not that hard, so I just Toxic and then stalled them. I then faced Tulip, the Psychic type gym. My plan was to use Toxic Spikes, Stealth Rock, and Spikes, and Sandstorm for maximum damage. And I have to be careful since my Glimora is a Poison type, which is very effective against a Psychic. After setting up the 3 traps, I then used Toxic on her Parigira and then stalled her. After that was to see the maximum damage set by the 3 traps, and then stalled until her entire team is defeated. After that, my Tinkaton then evolved. I then faced Atticus, Team Star Poison type. Since his whole team is poison, my setup would then be useless, so I just used Stealth Rock and Spikes only. And then, hold out, let me cook.
I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move.
With my 10 IQ play right here by using my Hippowdon and spam Roar, triggering the traps, and then repeat and repeat. Genius, I know. I then Will-O-Wisp his Muck and stalled until I faced his Star Mobile. where I used the same method against the two previous team stars. Sandstream and then lowered its accuracy and then stall until it dies from the sandstorm. I then went ahead and faced the last Titan. I was able to toxic it and then stalled it with the help of Arben. We were able to defeat the Titan twice. I was then challenged by Nemona in Montenevera City. I did my usual setup and then start spamming Roar.
Montage.
I'm okay.
After doing it 3 or 4 times, I then stalled out her Quaquavalk. That gets rid of her main Pokemon, then stalled out Palmon and proceed to spam Roar again to take out 2 of her remaining Pokemon. I then faced Ryan, the Ghost-type gym, in a double battle. My Glimora was doing the setup while my Toxicity poisons her 2 Pokemon. I then stalled 3 of her Pokemons until she brought out her last Pokemon, Toxicity. She terastalized to Ghost-type, which is now vulnerable to poison, so I Toxic her and stalled her. Lastly is Grusha, the Ice-type gym. As per usual, Limora with the setup, Toxicity with the Toxic, and then Spam Roar with Hippowdon.
You fool! Wait! Wait!
Happy feet. One more combo.
Emotional damage.
I then stalled this team until Altaria, where I used Destiny Bond. After fainting, I brought Altaria with me.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.
I then went ahead and faced Ortiga, the Team Star Fairy. Limora was able to set up the traps and Hippowdon spam Roar. I then installed his team until his Star MOBA, which Hippowdon managed to took down. I went ahead with the last Team Star, Airy, the fighting type. Limora was able to set up and Will-O-Wisp her Toxicroak, then proceed to spam Roar and stalled out her team until her Lucario, which is a steel type, so I had to burn it as well. I then used Roar to defeat her remaining Pokemon. I then faced her Star Mobile using Sandstream and then stall until Sunstorm depleted her HP. After all of this, I then proceed to head back to Pocopat Lighthouse to face Arven, where Limora was able to set up before dying. I then proceed to use Roar and stall his ace Pokemon, and then stall his 2 other Pokemon. I then spam Roar until he sent out his Knuckle, which apparently has Salt Cure, making him immune to poison, so I Destiny Bond him. And then its remaining Pokemon die from my traps. This then completes the Path of Legends. Next up is to confront Director Clavel. Limora went to set up Hippowdon then spam Roar. I then stalled and let Poison and Will-O-Wisp do the job. The Director then sent out Amon and removed my Poison Spike since he's a Poison type. I then burn him and place a new one for his last Pokemon. After that, I stall and Destiny Bond his Skeledridge, taking him down with me. I then went ahead and faced Penny or Casofia. Limora set up the Stealth Rock and Toxic Spike. Hippowdon then spam Roar. I then stall and let the Poison do its job. Her Flareon decided to take me down with him, but failed. Sylveon hit herself in its confusion, which caused her to faint. This now then completes Operation Starfall. All that's left is the Elite Four. We then proceed to face the first Elite Four, Rika, the ground type. I used Blissey to stall for me until her Wishcash runs out of PP. I then sent out Limora for the setup. After that, I just stall her entire team until her Clodsire, where I manually use Toxic on her and let the Poison do its job. Next up is Poppy, the Steel type. Since her whole team is immune to Poison, I have to rely on Stealth Rock and Spike. Since her team uses physical attack, I decided to use Hex Defense on my Hippowdon with Rocky Helmet. I then proceed to let Rocky Helmet do its job, except for one, which is her Magnezone. Since that thing uses special attack, I have to burn it and let the fire do its job. Up next is Larry. This time he uses Flying type. Since it's a Flying type, Toxic Spike and Spike is useless, but Stealth Rock would deal a lot more damage. So I manually Toxic, stall his entire team, and spam Roar on his 2 remaining Pokemon. His Flamigo triggered my Aftermath, damaging his Pokemon and causing him to faint. Lastly is Hassel, the Dragon type. I use my XP, Death, and begin the setup. I then use Toxic on his Noivern and using AI manipulation to dodge his Super Fang and lessen the damage on his Dragon Bolt until it faints. He then sends out Dragalge, so I use Hippowdon to Sandscream him. I then burn his Flapo. And then I stall with my Glimora, set up the Toxic Spike again since it was removed a while ago by the Dragalge. After that, I stall his 2 Pokemon and defeated all the elite forms. Lastly is to face Ita, the champion. My Glimora was able to do the setup and Hippowdon used Roar to send out her Glimora. Thanks to my Focus Sash, I was able to survive her attack. I then applied Toxic to her. Thanks to her Ground Terra, she's now vulnerable to Toxic, but my Pokemon died due to Sandstorm.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Her Glimora then died of poison. I then burned her Avalugg, Destiny Bond her King Gambit, set up the trap again, revived Drifblim, and used Destiny Bond again.
You won't let me live. You won't let me die.
And again,
What more do you want from me?
then finished off her last Pokemon with poison. It is now time to battle my rival for the last time. Glimora with the setup, Hippowdon with a Roar, stall out her Goodra, and then Will-O-Wisp her Ortworm, roar some more. Her Dunsparce, Palmon, and Ortworm died due to the Rocky Helmet. My Drifblim took out her Quaquaval with Aftermath. This then concludes Victory Road. I then had one final battle with AI Sada. Glimora was able to set up and Hippowdon used Roar and sent out her Roaring Moon. I then used AI Manipulation to avoid damage from my Pokemon and let Poison do its job. The same goes for Plattermane. I then used AI Manipulation again on her Screen Tail, lessening the damage of my Pokemon while stalling for the poison. The rest of her team then was slowly poisoned, and all I had to do was to stall them. And with that, we have completed the game without using a single damaging move. If you guys want more content like this, make sure to leave a like, comment down below what team I should do next, and as always, subscribe for more.